There is a sit-in protest at the headquarters of the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development by farmers from Solidarity, who came for talks with the management of the ministry yesterday. They met the Minister and Deputy Minister of Agriculture and asked them to invite the Prime Minister. They've been waiting for him since yesterday. They say that so far no promises have been fulfilled, that everything they have heard has turned out to be just empty words. Tomorrow, another big protest. In a changed form, farmers will protest in front of parliamentary offices. Farmers are alarmed that the government promises from Yashonka were ignored by Donald Tusk's team, which is why they started a sit-in in the building of the Ministry of Agriculture. Yesterday they invited us for talks, but it turned out that none of the previous arrangements had been implemented. So we asked the Minister, why did you invite us? Protesters want to talk to Prime Minister Donald Tusk. How everything indicates that the Prime Minister does not intend to come to the ministry. Michał Kołodziejczak convinced farmers that he had talked to the PO leader about this matter. Protesters accuse the Deputy Minister of Agriculture of lying. What Mr. Kołodziejczak says, that he contacted us, is a lie to us and all farmers. Farmers' demands are still unchanged, introducing an embargo on products from Ukraine and ending the EU Green Deal. Farmers and ordinary people gather in front of the ministry to show solidarity with the protesters. This is the same situation as in the 1990s when Polish workplaces were destroyed. Today, Brussels issues orders for the collapse of Polish agriculture. We do not agree to this, and we will not. Farmers are the last professional group that defends Poland's sovereignty and independence. That's why they need to be supported. And it won't end because this green disorder will affect us all. Another protest tomorrow. This time, farmers across the country will go to the parliamentary offices of parliamentarians from the coalition of 13th December to show clearly their opposition. At the moment, the determination of farmers is huge. We are standing against the wall and have no other choice. Not only we Poles, but the whole of Europe is against it. This is not the end. On the 10th of May, Agricultural Solidarity, with the entire Solidarity Union, are organising another march in Warsaw, which will be an expression of opposition to the EU's climate policy. On the 10th of May, there will be a large protest against the Green Deal. I encourage everyone to participate and officially announce this protest on behalf of Solidarity and Solidarity of individual farmers. We will fight together to dismantle this Green Deal, to disappear from the public space. Farmers emphasise that they are fighting on behalf of all of us because when European climate policy comes into force, ordinary citizens will face hunger. We are here not to pursue our own interests, but because we are obliged. This is how it should be put, to fight for Poland. On the 18th of May in Warsaw, Law and Justice is organising a march of solidarity with Polish farmers. At the time of the Israeli attack, the volunteers were travelling in a clearly marked car with the logo of the humanitarian organisation World Central Kitchen, clearly shown. The attack took place even though information about the convoy route had been provided to the Israeli army. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs reacts based on facts. We are learning more and more. What did you hear from the Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs? He promised an independent investigation. We demand that this matter, which has shocked Poland and cannot be left without a thorough explanation, be dealt with immediately. For now, one successor of Minister Radosław Sikorski is obtaining an assurance that Israel will undertake an investigation into the circumstances of the murder of a Polish citizen. Former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Paweł Jabłoński, criticised the ministry for its slowness in explaining the circumstances of the tragedy. For now, the activity of Polish diplomacy in this matter is surprisingly low. I have the impression that some action started as a result of media pressure. We must demand clear information from Israel about actions taken against the perpetrators of this crime. A crime has occurred. This is not big politics. It's about killing people. An international investigation must begin, not Israeli but international, so that we can be sure that the investigation is reliable. The attack on the convoy took place on the evening of the 1st of April. Poland has still not received a full explanation from Israel regarding the death of the Polish citizen, and therefore the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is unable to calm public opinion. The Israeli ambassador to Poland, Yakov Livney, added fuel to the fire, comparing Deputy Speaker of the Sejm Krzysztof Bosak and other politicians demanding explanations in the matter to anti-Semites. Although Sikorski criticised this, he stopped there. An urgent decision should be made to summon the Israeli ambassador, because yesterday's conversation between the foreign ministers did not influence the attitude of the representatives of the Israeli authorities. If the ambassador, instead of apologising, accuses Poles of anti-Semitism, it is unacceptable. In addition to the Pole, the dead included citizens of Australia and Great Britain, as well as one person with American-Canadian citizenship. The Palestinian driver was also killed. The Gaza Strip is currently one of the most dangerous places in which to provide help to those in need. Months of bombing and shelling of civilian objects resulted in the death of over 200 volunteers and humanitarian workers. Israel must investigate aid worker deaths very quickly, Great Britain's Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron told reporters as he arrived for a meeting of NATO foreign ministers in Belgium on Wednesday. I welcome what the Israeli foreign minister said yesterday to me about a full, urgent and transparent inquiry into how this dreadful event was allowed to happen. And we want to see that happen very, very quickly, Cameron said.
The dreadful events of the last 2 days are a moment when we should mourn the loss of these brave humanitarian workers, including the 3 British citizens that tragically were killed. We should also send our condolences to their families, and our thoughts should be with them. I welcome what the Israeli Foreign Minister said yesterday to me about a full, urgent and transparent inquiry into how this dreadful event was allowed to happen, and we want to see that happen very, very quickly. I also welcome the fact that he spoke about much more aid getting into Gaza, up to 500 trucks a day. That is essential. We've been promised these things before, and this really needs to happen, including longer opening times at the vital crossing points. But of course, the extra aid won't work unless there is proper deconfliction, unless aid can be taken around Gaza, and we avoid the dreadful incidents like we've seen in the last couple of days. That is vital, and Britain will be watching very closely to make sure that that happens.
WCK, which was founded by celebrity chef Jose Andres, said its staff were travelling in 2 armoured cars emblazoned with the charity's logo and another vehicle, and had coordinated their movements with the Israeli military. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Taiwan early on Wednesday morning, killing at least 9 people and injuring hundreds in the strongest tremor to hit the island in at least 25 years. A further 77 people were reportedly trapped in tunnels and collapsed buildings, authorities said, as rescuers raced to get them out. The earthquake, which struck at 7:58 local time, was felt as far away as Shanghai and reportedly triggered a landslide in eastern Taiwan. Strict building regulations in Taiwan and widespread awareness of such a disaster appear to have staved off a major catastrophe for the island. However, officials have warned of more tremors in the days ahead. The earthquake is close to land and it's shallow. It's felt all over Taiwan and offshore islands, said Wu Qianfu, director of Taipei's Central Weather Administration's Seismology Center. 3 people, part of a 7-strong hiking group, are among those reported dead. They were crushed by boulders loosened by the earthquake, officials said. Separately, a truck driver died when his vehicle was hit by a landslide as it approached a tunnel in the area. The deaths all occurred in Hualien County, the epicenter of the quake. More than 800 people have been injured and thousands were urged to evacuate. Several buildings have collapsed, more than half in Hualien, with about 20 people trapped and rescue work continuing. Television images showed homes and offices in Hualien shaking off their foundations, while Taiwan's electricity operator said 87,000 people across the country are without power. The quake caused a tsunami which had been predicted to be up to 3 meters high and was expected to reach Japan's southwestern Okinawa coast. An alert was issued for the coastal areas of Japan near the southern prefecture of Okinawa, with residents told to leave urgently. The waves that arrived were not as high as forecast, and the alert was downgraded to an advisory, though officials are still encouraging locals to stay away from the area. A tsunami of about 0.3 meters reached Yonaguni Island in southwest Japan.